When I started this process, I thought it was a quick and easy one. So I thought I would be done with one video. Yeah, don't trust the person talking in a moment. He doesn't know what he is getting into yet. So I might pop in again and again to tell you, no, wrong. Stuff like that. We all can agree on me having the self-control of a maybe 2-year-old? I think we can agree on that. When I unboxed the Miniverse things, I had those little Louboutin-esque shoes. I don't know where they are now because I was cleaning up and I'm still in the middle of that. But when I went to visit Kitsy in Britain, I thought, let's buy some more because she really likes Louboutins and maybe we get another pair and then she can have them. We didn't. Or we bought new other ones, but we didn't get Louboutins. And then my solution was to go online to AliExpress and look there. And because of my impulse control, I bought 2 pairs of shoes for me, one for her, and they came in the mail today. They are supposed to be Barbie size or 1:6 scale size. When I saw them, I thought, no, they are not. And I took out this girl, removed one shoe, removed one sock, and thought, definitely no. I zoom you in a little bit. There is no way this will fit. But I thought maybe with the curvy ones. So, and what do we see here? They do fit, but they are still quite loose. You know, with stockings it would work, but they come off quite quick. And then I thought, why not try a Monster High? And to my very large surprise, I did try the red one. Maybe only the red ones fit. It does fit. She does need a bit of a foot reduction. Nope, she did not. When it comes to her big toe. So we are going to chop them off. Nope, we did not. Very Cinderella-esque. But this Draculaura will soon wear these shoes. Actually, yes, she does. The red ones I will keep. Maybe I will use them another time. But I do want to use the black ones because I thought about what kind of outfit would go well with Louboutin-esque pumps. Again and again I came back to another very iconic fashion look thing, which is the new look by Christian Dior. We now will stitch together a dress reminiscent of the new look and use the Louboutins as her footwear. Let me just stop my over-enthusiastic 3 days younger me that knows nothing yet. Instead of now making the dress, what I did at this point, I want to show you the footage of how I made the hat. Enjoy. And that does mean the only accessory left that I'm willing to make. And I shouldn't say it like that because maybe I will make an umbrella. But yeah, the last thing for the moment is the hat. And I had to come up with a method to do a halfway decent hat for her. I have no idea if the idea that I have will be halfway decent, but we will try it anyway. And what does it tell you when I go in and say, attempt number 1? I made the hat form by gluing a cap of a bottle onto one of those capsules from Mini Fashion Blah, because this way I had a similar shape as as the original hat had. Yeah, then I tried to cut out a circle of felt, wet that, and put it over my head form, which did not work at all. I tried to felt it with some soap and everything. Nothing happened. It was not able to reform because the felt I had there was a quality one, so it was felted all the way through. I guess if you get a cheap one that isn't felted completely, this method could have worked. But because of that, I decided to try wet felting for the first time in my life. What I saw online was when you put that in thin layers, in thin wisps together, that you can felt it. Have I ever felted anything in my life? No, I haven't. Will this end up as a disaster? Highly likely. Will I stop doing that and try another method, fun foam for example? Even more likely. Would I regret it if I wouldn't try it? I think so. As per usual, I read one tutorial online. I didn't even watch the tutorial because I always think reading them is a lot more fun. And out of my memory, I tried to felt. In the midst of doing that, it occurred to me that first of all, the person said you need a net. Because I didn't have a net, I used organza, which did work, so yay me. I was able to get a halfway felted result like this, and then I remembered, oh damn it, that person had something, it wrapped the felt around and rolled it and made it felt this way. And instead of looking up what that person used, no, I went downstairs, got the thing you roll cookie dough out with, wrapped it around that, and tried to felt it this way. The tutorial said use a pool noodle. Yeah, as you already notice, or might have noticed, our thing to roll out cookie dough is out of wood. It did work, but yeah. Anyway, after I thought, I guess it's felted now, I then put our sheet of felt, or let's say that area that had the least amount of holes in it, onto our plastic hat form, tried to felt it in place, used some rubber bands as supports, and yeah, after a lot of brushing over it with my hands and with soap and smishing it around, I had a halfway decent shaped hat that I then could wash out and leave on the hat form to dry. And because I panicked in between, I did cut the brim far too short. But I still tried to finish that hat because obviously it wasn't felted all the way through and it looked quite fuzzy. So I watered down some deco hardener that is to harden fabric and brushed it on in the hopes of getting it more smooth. That did work, I have to admit, but yeah, because the brim was far too small, I repeated all of this while watching TV, making a second hat. So, total head count at this point, 2. So, my issue with the felted hat was it was too chunky. And I wasn't sure about the texture, the slightly fuzzy texture, so I asked my friend Rainbow Fine Arts, and she was okay with it. I was not sure, so I made a second hat. The one that I like the least from the pictures, which is the one that is made out of twine fibers. I don't know what it is. Twigs. No, not twigs. It looks like a basket. Like a basket bowl that someone plopped on their head. I'm sorry, I know it's a traditional hat, and in that context it might look very nice, but on the model I think it looks so strange. Anyway, for that hat I basically used some twine. Is it twine? I think it's twine. And I took the other side of the capsule, glued some aluminium foil on the top as the little dot, and then covered everything with aluminium foil and then wrapped around twine in a spiral. We all know this technique. Toya from My Froggy Stuff did it 1,000 times, so I don't think it's new to anyone. The only problem in the end was, obviously, I glued the twine to the aluminium foil. When I then tried to remove the aluminium foil from the twine, it did not work without tearing the whole hat apart. So I decided to glue an inner layer into it. And left basically a spot as big as the head of the doll, just so I could plop it on, and if you see it in the pictures from underneath, you are not able to see the aluminium foil. And again, I went to Instagram to ask my friend Rainbow Fine Arts what she thinks about this hat. She thought the black one was nicer. Another friend of mine thought the cream one, this twine one, is nicer. And I was like, maybe I should try a fabric one. And I really tried not to do a fabric one because of, first of all, it's the 4th hat. And second of all, I was so done with sewing at this point. But of course we did another hat. And because I was surprisingly fed up at this point, I just showed how I made the pattern. And just for you to know, I made 2 brim pieces, so the brim is a bit more stable. I made a band for the height and another circle for the top of the hat. All of them were basically lined with interfacing. I used 2 layers of interfacing and 2 layers of fabric for the brim. And for the height and for the top of the head, I used 2 layers of interfacing stuck onto each other onto the fabric to give it a bit more stability. I then stitched it together off camera. I first stitched the height band, whatever, to the top of the head, and then I stitched one brim on, stitched the 2 brims together, turned everything inside out, and stitched the inside of the brim onto the inside of the head. So everything was secured. I hope you were able to follow me. I even confused myself with this now. I decided our girl does need an umbrella. Because there was one picture I found where she holds an umbrella. That's why I needed an umbrella. Of course. Using the faux silk taffeta that I already used for the hat and was used for the dress as well. Will be used for the dress as well. Anyway, I folded it into basically eighths, as if you would want to cut out a circle, but instead of cutting around, I just cut it a straight line, so I have basically a circle that has straight edges. Then I removed one of the eighths, secured the edges with a bit of heat from a candle, and stitched them together so that we have 7 different parts in the umbrella. I hope you could follow me so far. From this on, I then glued little eyelids. Those things where you normally put ribbons through if you lace something up. And I have bought those in doll size, which are far too small, and I have nothing how I would ever be able to use them, so I decided to glue those in as the pretend anchor points of the spines of the umbrella. This umbrella will not be functional. It's just decoration. Then I glued in a wooden dowel. On the other side, I glued a bead cap and a tiny thing that I had from basically when you have those necklaces that are just a ribbon. The ends sometimes have those caps on. And one of those as the tip of the umbrella. On the other side, I then glued a bead, painted the dowel black as far as needed, and then it was time to struggle after everything was dry. Folding this frickin' thing up was quite complicated. I first stitched together all of the basically spine points where on a normal umbrella the spine would be, and when you close them they are close to the rod or to the holding mechanism, and the rest folds outwards. So to have them in place I stitched that, but because the folding was the other way around, getting clean folds was nearly impossible, and in the end I found out when you fold all of them onto each other, so that you have one big bunch of folded fabric, and then wrap it around, That is more or less the easiest way to go, to secure it in place for all eternity. I did some stitches, then I took out a ribbon, put a buckle on it just for show, and stitched it on there. So I hope that this nice pretty thing will never fall apart again. Gosh, that was annoying. But in the end, I am happy that I made it because I think it is quite cute. Annoying, but cute. Okay, let's talk about the dress for a moment. Yes, originally the bar suit consisted of the jacket and a skirt, not a full dress. But because I thought, why not? I made it into a full dress. It had to hit roughly on the waist area. So I took my basic pattern and just traced from where I wanted the bust area, the the collar area to be, up to a little bit more than the waist. And yeah, then I cut that out of the interfacing lining, whatever thing, and you can see basically the pieces I used now. That should give you a basic idea. I then cut everything out piece by piece and took out a candle, burned all the edges. With this faux taffeta stuff, it is of course synthetic, so it melts down wonderfully. I do see a lot of this taffeta in my future because, gosh, what was it a dream to work with. It is on the more expensive side, but I'm fine with that when sewing a dress is so easy afterwards. Stitching it together, very easy. Just the closing the darts, then stitching the two back pieces onto the front, then the collar all around. I hemmed the collar before and then stitched it on, so very simple. Then I hemmed the long piece that is for the skirt. This is hemmed. These are prepared. I now present to you the tedious work of doing these frickin' folds. I only did this once before for a costume for a doll that I did not repaint, and it took forever, as will this. So this is the first fold. There will be a ton more. And because of lack of a better because of lack of a better solution, the first time I made something like this, I used a straightening iron to set the folds, which was quite interesting but worked fairly well, I have to say. And yes, I wish I would be able to give you a better solution than folding roughly half a centimeter, pinning that, folding 1.5 centimeters back pinning those, so you have the first fold and then repeating that again and again to, in the end, have accordion folds that are roughly 1.5 centimeters deep. Or even skinnier, or what, I have no idea. It took forever. It does look quite nice, but prepare yourself for a lot of work and a lot of pins if you want to do something like that. After the whole piece was basically pinned into folds, I then ironed it, and I ironed it slightly hotter as you should from the backside, then turned it around and ironed it on the right temperature from the front, so you don't have any glossy spots because you slightly burn the plastic. There are techniques that would have made this easier. I think there are those with paper that you lay on that's already folded, but it would have made a more accurate fold, but with the slippery fabric, I never had good results with that, so maybe it's just me, but not my thing. Because everything was hemmed, I then could just stitch it on to the dress, to the bodice, throw in a zipper, and our last piece was done. And with our ensemble so far, I will leave you now. Next week I will do the doll and the bar jacket video. So I hope you will join me on that. And have a great time. Until then, bye.